This is a continuation from the last video, video 1 of the GXT lab. Okay, so we were talking about how to get the predicted, or actually you can go ahead and just put treadmill instead of predicted on that table. Let's go back to the original data sheet that was sent, and we're going to scroll down, and we already have the max VO2 predicted. It's 42.6, so you can go ahead and just list that in this table. Okay, so you'll put that for the subject, 4 subjects. Okay, let's see down here. Oh, you know what, I'm thinking if you don't have the subjects, the same subjects for from the O strand to the predicted or the treadmill, if the same subjects didn't do it, what we can do instead of doing it by subject is we can just take a mean. Okay, so go ahead and just take the mean of 4 subjects VO2 figured out from the regression equation in the lab manual for the O strand test, and then the mean of the 4 subjects from the raw data that was sent out to you. Okay, and that'll just be a simple 1-column graph. Okay, next we have our graphs. Okay, so graph 1, I'm not going to show you how to do the graphs because you already know that, but the general things that you're going to need to create it, I'll go over. Okay, so first one, we have mean heart rate versus mean VO2, and this is for the treadmill test. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into Excel, make 1 column for the mean heart rate, 1 column for the mean VO2, and each one of these points, okay, is going to be the average at a certain mile per hour. The nice thing is that you already have that from your graphs up here. Okay, so heart rate at 3, the mean heart rate at 3 is 109. Okay, so that's what you'll put in your first data point or in your Excel sheet. So 109 at the first mile per hour, and then the second mile per hour, you'll plot that, and so you'll just list those in a column in Excel. Okay, then you'll list the mean VO2, which you also have up here. So mean VO2 right here, if it's mLs per kg per minute, you also have liters per minute, and you'll list that in the other column. So very simple, just take those values from each of the different mile per hour stages and list them in 2 columns, create the graph, bring the trend line in, label it, label both axes, and also bring the equation in. Okay, or opt to have the equation in. For the graphs that have this stuff under it, the same items are required from the first lab, and although these aren't explained in this example that I sent you guys, you need to just give me a little explanation of what each one of those means, just like in the first lab. Okay, next we have graph 2, mean heart rate versus mean kcals per minute. Again, you already have these in your tables up above. Okay, so these again are at the 3 mile per hour, 4 mile per hour, 6 miles per hour, 7 miles per hour, and 8 miles per hour. Okay, that's where you're getting these data points from. Again, a column for mean kcals per minute and a column for heart rate at each individual stage. Okay, plot those, give me the same values as above. Next, graph 3, speed versus VO2 throughout the treadmill test. Okay, so we're on the treadmill test here. Mean VO2 that we have from our Excel sheet, and we also put in a table up above. The speed, we have that in our table up above. So it's, again, simple. 1 column for VO2, 1 column for speed. Plot the graph and do your stuff. Okay. Here, I don't like how this turned out. This one I think the person messed up on, but there is something similar. I'm going to scroll down. Let's see, where is it? Okay, it should look more like this. Okay, so RPE and heart rate, I think if it's the same thing, RPE and heart rate, let's see. Yeah, try and make it look like the graph below, but this is from the O strand test, so if you can't get it just right, that's okay too. Alright, so that's heart rate and RPE. You'll have that from your data sheet. On this one, if it's too complicated for you to have 3 different trend lines, go ahead and just do one graph per trend line. So you'll have graph 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3. For the mean blood pressure, that is located in the lab manual as well. That's diastolic blood pressure plus, open parentheses, 0.333, open parentheses, times systolic minus diastolic, close parentheses, okay? But just refer to your lab manual for that equation, okay? So you'll plot those. It could be 3 graphs unless you want to do them all in one. TPR is also in the lab manual. TPR is found by mean blood pressure over Q. So mean blood pressure over Q. This is for the O-strand test, so we're going to do minute 0, minute 6, 12, and 16 are going to be your data points. Rate pressure product, again, that is going to be in the lab manual. And let's see, I don't see it off the bat here, but I know it's in there, so go ahead and open the lab manual and look at how to get rate pressure product. And again, we're looking at minute 0, 6, 12, and 18. Plot those points and connect the dots. If they don't have the explanation statistics below the graphs, that means they're not required, okay? Graph 8, mean heart rate versus mean RPE during the treadmill test. So you'll have both of those, or you'll have the heart rate values from the Excel sheet and the RPE from the scanned sheet, and you'll make 2 columns with that and simply plot them, okay? Each point here is going to be a certain speed, mile per hour. Graph 9, mean VO2 versus mean CO2. So the VO2 and CO2 you're going to get, and these are in liters per minute. If we go back up to our sheet here, we have VO2 in liters per minute here, and we have our VCO2 in liters per minute here, okay? So VO2, VO2 is here, my bad, and VCO2 is here, okay? So you'll be using those 2 columns to plot the values for that table, okay? Graph 10, heart rate versus VE BTPS. VE BTPS is also on the Excel sheet. That is right here, VE BTPS, and you have heart rate, which is right here, okay? So that's a simple one. Just make the 2 columns and go from there, okay? Table 6, you can go ahead and disregard. You don't need table 6. You can take that out of your lab report. Finally, you have the discussion, 3 to 5 pages. Don't make it any longer than 5 pages. And that's it. Good luck, everybody, and I'll talk to you later.